What up, boys?
What's up,
Johnny?
Back here in the Lion's Den, baby. Back in the Lion's Den.
Yeah, it's been a good week, man.
Hear
it was
me
a good podcast
roar.
last week.
Yeah, I'm still wound tight on that one.
You do look a little red.
Well,
still
You
look
were
red.
wound pretty tight,
I'm even more
Johnny.
pissed off about tonight's topic than I was last week's.
No. There we
No
go.
joke, brother. No joke.
All right, that's
Oh,
cool.
boy.
I like
Tonight
it.
it's time to wage war on the feminists.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Johnny's
Biggest damn
pissed the heck
group
off,
of
man.
hypocrites I've ever seen in my life.
That is
Oh,
no
boy.
joke, though.
But don't you worry, ladies. Screw the feminists. We got you back.
Yep.
We got you. Don't you worry about it. Because they obviously, based upon what I've been seeing and the statistics I've been looking at and the data and everything else, these feminists don't give a shit about women.
Right? They talk they do, but their actions are completely opposite.
Well, you know what they say, talk is cheap, right?
Yep.
And, you know, we especially in this culture today, it's like, where the hell are all the feminists at? I mean, these women should be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you don't hear nothing. They're more scared of looking like bigots and whatever. They've turned their back on their own people, man. Their own species, their own sex, their own gender.
Yep.
Well, now that we've got this gender fluent culture and society we live in, it's kind of hard to call yourself a woman now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Or is it easy to call yourself a woman now?
Well, I guess so. But you sure in the hell ain't got anybody fighting for women.
That's true.
I mean, you can say whatever you want.
In all reality.
They keep pointing fingers at men, talking about toxic masculinity.
Toxic.
Yeah, I like that, Freddie. That's good. Do that again.
Toxic.
Oh, yeah. He always says that. He always says that. Yeah. Whoever says that's a jackass. That's why we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is that we live in a culture where it's gender fluid, right? But then we've got this group that's out there calling themselves feminists,
Right.
but they don't give two shits about women.
Right. But, well,
They don't.
it's sad, dude. It's bad.
Dude, I was
It's
looking up
bad.
stuff today, and I'm like, you got to be absolutely shitting me.
Yeah.
How you could even call yourself a feminist and talk about, you start reading, what is it? Let me pull this up because I got to read their mission statement, because if this isn't a friggin' oxymoron, I don't know what it
I got to
what it
say,
is.
if some woman dressed like a man started whooping our ass in baseball and football and stuff like that, I'd be a little rattled.
Yeah, no shit. The mission of the Feminist Majority Foundation, FMF, was created to develop bold new strategies and programs to advance women's equality, nonviolence, economic development, and, most importantly, empowerment of women and girls in all sectors of society.
Wow.
Now, how can your mission statement be like that and then you don't stand up when a dude's trying to compete against a girl in sports?
The good old FMF.
Yeah, dude. I can't.
I mean, this is the other one that gets me too. I mean, this is their big issues, right? These are the big concerns that they have, right? Sexual harassment, domestic violence, the pay gap between men and women, eating disorders and body imaging and shaming, things like that, sexual and reproductive rights, honor crimes, and female genital mutilation. Okay, I'm cool with that, but you don't seem to have a problem with a girl mutilating her genitals to become a boy.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, you can't have it both ways out there, folks. You're either for it or you're against it. And if you sit here and you say you're for women and young girls, and you're not standing up and raising hell when these young girls and these young women are being victimized by boys that are confused, I'll just put it that way.
Right.
I mean, what are you protecting them from?
They're
So is it just about money now? Is it you got to make a certain amount of money? That's what's fair?
men that are confused. We're not talking about little kids. We're talking about grown-ass men
Well,
that are confused.
if you're a man and you're confused like that, you're a boy.
Yeah,
Sorry, I hate to tell
got
you.
I got you. But yeah, I mean, it's like I'm looking here. Program to advance women's equality. That I don't understand.
Well, they want to talk about equality in the workplace, making the same pay gaps, making sure they're getting paid this for the same job, getting the same money as a man.
But they are.
And I don't disagree with any of that. I think that, hey, if you got the skill, whether you're male or female, if you're doing the job, you should get paid the same wage.
Yeah. Job for
Hands
job.
down.
Same
Yep,
job.
Job for job.
Yep.
But don't do, a comparison of, this guy over here is, being a welder and this girl over here is working at Winn-Dixie and they should get the same amount of money.
Yeah.
No. It don't work that way. So
like engineer to engineer, structural engineer, they're going to get paid the same.
they should.
Because
And if they're not, that's a problem. And I got a real problem with that.
Well, we would know if they weren't, because all these big corporations would be hiring all the women because they're going to save themselves,
Money.
$10,000, $15,000 a year per employee.
Yeah, if you get the same work and the same quality of work for cheaper, you're going to do it.
Exactly. That's why they sub everything out to China and
Right.
India and stuff. So the pay gap thing,
Mexico.
job for job. I've seen no evidence of pay gap.
Well, this is the thing that gets me. Last week we were talking about clowns wear makeup, boys don't, or men don't, right? I'm sitting there looking at this, the top 10 earners in the cosmetic industry as far as influencers. Influencers, right?
Yeah.
Top 10 earners that are influencers, okay?
For putting on makeup.
For putting on makeup. 3 out of the top 5 are men. Where the hell are the feminists?
Yeah, why aren't they raising hell?
Where are the feminists at? You got guys in there taking women's jobs. Women have been putting on makeup. I said this in the last podcast. Women have been putting on makeup forever, hijacking this industry.
Yep.
And they're making more money because they are men.
Yep.
And it has more of a weird appeal to people watching a dude put on makeup, I guess. And whether they're good or not or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're not going to tell me that these guys that are putting on makeup can put it on any better than a woman.
Right.
I'm not believing that one iota. So where are the feminists at? Where you at? You want to wave your flag, stomp your feet, and throw hissy fits and temper tantrums talking about equality, and yet you got this shit going on, and you're not standing up for the rights of these women. I mean, that's just one. Here's the other thing that really blows my mind.
Hey, I got one here real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Sexual and reproductive rights. What is that?
That's basically saying they have the right to have an abortion if they want, I guess.
Huh.
Okay. So here's part of the equality thing. Do they ever ask the man if he wants to keep the baby or not? The man that it takes two to tango. So does he not have any rights?
Well, they're not worried about men. They're worried about women.
But you see what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but they're not talking about equality for both men and women. They're talking about the equality to make sure women get theirs.
But what I'm saying is, how is that equal when the woman has all of the say? It's not equality. That's, we want more than you.
Well, yeah. But they don't care. It's just like anything else. You're going to take whatever you can get, right? So if you can get more, you're going to take it. Yeah. I'm not going to hate on them for that. But my point is you're not even fighting for the shit you should be. Dude, look at this shit. Men that have won Woman of the Year. I'm sitting here looking at this. I'm like, this shit can't be real. You're talking about, they got some names here. What's that say? Rachel Levine.
Yeah, Rachel Levine.
Caitlyn Jenner. Laverna Cox. MJ Rodriguez. Laurel Hubbard. Ebony Harper. Cecilia Chung. And then they got a bonus here, Leah Thompson. How are you not pissed off about that?
Right.
What about the rights of that little girl that grew up and was talking about, and you know what? I'm speaking of this from the perspective of a father of a daughter. This little girl that's aspired to do great things and to be great and to do all these things that you're pitching about equality and equal rights and all this other shit. You're telling my daughter you're fighting for, and these guys, put on a set of tits and all of a sudden they're Women of the Year.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Or taking that gold medal away out of their hands.
And they've been a woman for how long? How long were they even women or so-called women before they got the award? It's like,
yeah.
And there are other girls that have grown up their entire lives, don't get any kind of recognition. And you talk about equality?
Here's a person that hasn't had a single period their entire life, hasn't gone through anything that a woman's gone through. None of the hardships, none of the hard times and the toughness that they talk about that they're trying to prevent. And you're going to throw, hey, you're Woman of the Year. You're so brave, Brave, yeah. Yeah, that pissed me off.
You're stealing from young girls.
Look at these
Why
colleges.
don't they call it Trans of the Year or something like
Yeah,
that?
that's you want to do.
Really more accurately what it is.
Call it what it is.
They're not women.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, this may piss some people off, but I really don't give a shit. If you're listening to this podcast and you think that we're going to play the politically correct game and pander around to this garbage and be like, oh, well, we would have. No, there are two sexes in this world. It's called male and female, okay? Anything outside of that is just fabricated, created, or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, there are men and there are women. And it is absolutely infuriating to me as a father of a daughter that these men have decided to become female through sex change operations, and they're winning awards for it.
Some of them aren't even sex change operations. Like when it comes to sports, it's the amount of testosterone in your bloodstream. So you could still have a pecker and go play in a woman's sports and have still more testosterone than them, but you're below the limit.
Dude, there have been 23 trans women that have won national or international competitions or championships
that have snatched these goals and these championships out of the hands of women.
Where we at, feminists? I mean, are you shitting me right now? This little girl that's come up her entire life, played soccer, basketball, swimming, whatever it is.
Busting her ass,
wanted to compete to get a scholarship to go to a major university to compete for a national championship. And some boy that's genetically stronger, bigger, faster, whatever, comes in and steals that dream, and you're cool with that?
Right.
No, you're not fighting for women. You are not fighting for women. I don't know who you're fighting
and
for.
If I was a woman and I've been training all my life for the Olympic, and I went there and got destroyed
by a man,
right? Well, that weightlifting,
I'd have something to say about it.
That one lady you said in there was a power lifter.
Yeah, it's a dude.
It was a dude, power lifter. Lana Lawless.
I mean,
won a longest drive competition for women.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's a bunch of guys that can't do shit against other dudes, so they become girls so they can compete.
So they can feel good about themselves.
You're out of your friggin' mind.
But the feminists got nothing to say about it. They're like, oh well, they say they're a woman now. No, they're not.
You can say whatever you want, but how could you be pro woman and be okay with that?
Yeah, it's messed up.
I don't understand that. I mean, it's infuriating to think that, you got these girls like the deal with the damn swim meet with the dude come in there. Was it Leah Thomas? Is that the swimmer? Going to go in there and hijack the national championship from girls that have busted their asses their entire lives and competed, and in the women's arena are the elite of the elite, and steal from them a national championship because he's physically superior because he's a male.
Right. Oh, but we're pigs for saying males are physically superior.
Those are facts.
It's facts.
Obviously, they're winning all these championships.
Right.
And now what's even worse is that we've been brought up in a culture today where a man should not hit a woman. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
They got dudes fighting MMA against women.
Yep.
Beating the shit out of women. Are you kidding me?
Now, here's a good question for you. Why doesn't it go the other way? Now, really think about it. Feminists, think about that. Why don't you see women going to compete in men's sports?
Because they ain't got a shot in hell. That's why.
Right.
That's just keeping it 100.
That's it. That's 100%. So why? So the fact that you support these men going into women's sports to dominate is just, I mean, just ridiculous.
It's mind blowing. It's just, and then they're going to talk about we want to be equality. We want to protect the rights of little girls and women all over the world. And no, you don't. No, you don't.
Not when you don't. Not when that stuff don't piss you off.
I mean, when you got men winning Women of the Year, guys that are winning friggin' international championships, competing against women, guys beating women up in the ring because it's legal now, I guess. Yeah, so I guess it's okay to smack around a woman now as long as it's done, in an octagon, I guess.
As long as you're getting paid for it. But we're the toxic males.
Women of the Year. I mean, hijacking the Women of the Year.
Right.
You got all these dudes.
Yep.
That put on makeup and grow some boobies, and all of a sudden now they're women.
Yeah. And half of them don't do that.
It's just
they just say I identify as, and the women go. The feminists go, okay, all right then. That's fine.
You done backed yourself in a corner, but don't you worry about it, ladies, because guys like us, we ain't putting up with that bullshit. We're coming for you. We're gonna fight for you. I'm gonna fight for my daughter. Yeah. If I see an injustice going on like that, I can damn well promise you it ain't gonna happen. Not around me. And I feel bad for these fathers of these daughters to have to look at your daughter in the eye and to know that her dream's been crushed and hijacked because of political correctness and this sick, twisted mentality we have in our culture today.
Right.
You know, to steal the dream of a young girl, and then you want to sit there and you have a movement out there that talks about protecting that, and you're nowhere to be found. You're silent. You're quiet.
When it doesn't fit your specific agenda.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't. Yeah, It doesn't fit your narrative.
Yeah.
You know, it's easier to look the other way when it doesn't fit your narrative, because now they're backed in the hole because now they won't be accepting and understanding and tolerant and everything else.
Right.
I mean,
you know what it's going to lead to ultimately? What it'll lead to is men dominating the things that women do, which they say we're doing already. So they're going to masquerade.
What an oxymoron, huh?
Yeah, they're going to masquerade as women and do it that way. So they're still going to get. They're still going to be up against what they're up against now.
There's going to be other dudes that are going to go into it just out of spite to smack down the dudes that are doing it. You know, think about it. You're watching this guy beat up on girls. Sooner or later, you're going to go, you know what? Some guy's going to go, you know what? I'm going to identify as a woman, and I'm going to go in and slap the shit out of this dude. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go in and beat the tar off of him because I'm going to say that I'm a girl too.
Yeah, and you know what's going on. Speaking MMA-wise, you know what's going to happen. That original dude is going to be like, no, I'm not going to sign that contract. I'm not going to fight them.
Yeah.
You know, it's a joke. Honestly, it's a joke.
You take the WNBA. You're not going to tell me that if you put the best player in the NBA and the WNBA, that guy would not dominate, score 100 points a game.
Right. It is what it is. And that's okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why there's male and female sports.
Right. And they want to, and here's the thing, you bring up NBA and WNBA, the soccer, the women's soccer. We don't get paid as much as as the guys get paid, and this and that, and blah blah blah. So I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was explaining. He goes, all in all, the women get a larger percentage than the men.
Yeah.
So the men get paid out of, and it's got nothing to do with a woman or a man. It's the sponsorship.
It's about revenue.
Period.
It's about revenue, yeah. Who's bringing in the most money?
Right. So men's soccer brings in, say, $1 billion. And the soccer players themselves in a championship, they might get $1 million, which is, 0.01%. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Of the pot. Well, in the women's soccer, they bring in $300 million. But they get 20 to 30% of the pot.
Yeah.
Now, granted, 20 to 30% of 300 million is not 1% of a billion.
Why should it be?
But they're technically getting paid a higher percentage.
Ray, I feel like it should be the same, Ray. I feel like it should be the same.
Well, then you just
even though it's $1 billion versus 300 million, I mean, I feel like it's the same amount of money. That's how I feel.
You're just pissing in a fan on that one.
I mean, yeah, I'm getting some on me over here.
I mean, this is a world we live in, but I just think it's absolute hypocrisy to have an organization out there that talk about feminism and protecting women, and they sit idle and they ain't done shit.
Right.
And then what they want to do is they want guys like us that are going to step up and say something so that we can take the hit for being intolerant or toxic or, bigots and all this other, transphobes and all this other shit. What? Because we don't want to, we're not going to let our daughters fall victim and be victimized by dudes that can't cut it as boys and they want to act like girls. No, right. that ain't working for me.
No, this is the exact opposite of being toxic. We are standing
you raise
up
your
for
sons
the women.
You raise your sons to honor, to love, and respect women, not to hit women, not to compete with women, because you're supposed to, because you are different and understand meekness, which is controlled strength.
Right.
You have the ability to really hurt a girl. Don't do that. Right. But now we want to talk about, little Johnny's now little Joanna, and she can do whatever she wants. Yeah, okay. Some girl is going to be out there that's going to get really hurt.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen is, and it may be a situation where they end up killing somebody because you're going to have a man putting mitts on a girl.
It can happen. It's happened in boxing. It can happen.
But you don't see in these movements, the feminist movement, they're not raising hell about it. Well, they're letting us raise hell about it and go, yeah, see, that toxic masculinity, that's what we're trying to get away from.
We're the bigots.
Transphobics and phobias and all this other shit. No, you're too chicken shit to stand up and fight for what you said you were about.
Right.
Your mission statement says it's about women and young girls. Where are you at?
Yeah.
Where are you? And you guys out there, you men that that sit back idle putting up with this bullshit, you're weak. I don't want to hear this crap of, oh, we don't want to rock the boat, we don't want to piss people off. I really don't give a shit. You want to be pissed off, better be pissed off than pissed on. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
If you think that I'm going to sit idle and keep my mouth shut and be like, it's okay because I don't want to hurt little Johnny's feelings or hurt his mommy's feelings or his daddy's feelings, I don't give a damn. Boys have no business in girl sports. A boy or a man has no business being called Woman of the Year.
Right.
Young men have no business competing in international and collegiate sports against women. It's dangerous. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get hurt. You're crushing the dreams of these young girls. If I'm a girl right now and I'm thinking about coming up and dedicating my entire life to a sport so that some boy can come along and take it from me, what kind of bullshit is that?
Right. It's going to cause women to not do anything.
Think about those girls just in that swimming competition. How many hours, how many days, how much sacrifice did they make giving up their lives and their time to be at that level than to have it just hijacked from them?
Not just that.
By a guy that was like
life.
Was he like rated like 200th or 400th in the men's division?
Right. But here's the thing. Not only that was that guy didn't win. They tied.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, hey, we're going to give it to this guy over here.
Give him the trophy. It's a better photo op.
Right.
If I was her daddy, I'd take that damn trophy and slapped him upside the head with it. I'm telling you right now.
It pisses me off just thinking
boy,
about it.
get me mad, boy. Whoa.
Do
that to my baby. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
You want to talk about equality? Tied. They tied.
F around and find out.
Yeah, and you still give it to a guy. We're the feminists on that. That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Come on now. Look, you've been a woman for 6 months. I've been a woman my entire life. I tied your ass. Give me the trophy.
No shit. She should be getting 2 trophies because she not only beat the women, she beat a dude too.
Right. Exactly. But
here's the other part of it too that they don't want to bite into. The guy was rated like 400th or
right
in the men's division.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy that was 400th against men that tied for the national championship of women. You're not going to tell me there's not a physical disparity there.
Right. No, without a doubt.
You can't.
But they don't seem to care, Johnny. They don't seem to care.
Well, here's the part. They back themselves into a corner because if they open their mouths and say something, then holy shit, we're not against the women because you got this crazy way out there.
Because equality, because we're just as good as men. That's where they got themselves. We're just as good. No, you're not.
Yeah.
In some instances, women are better.
Well, yeah.
In a lot of instances, women are better, without a doubt.
There are things that my wife is way better at than me. I'll be the first one to tell you. But she ain't lifting more than me. She ain't kicking my ass. She ain't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Those things, that's just a given. She's not stronger than me. She's not more physical than me. That's not gonna, because she's a woman. You know? And how many guys want a woman who can kick their ass anyway?
And dude,
no, thank you.
I think I'll pass on that one.
And those women are perfectly made.
Yes.
Perfectly and wonderfully made.
Oh man,
Look at, can we make babies?
No.
Nope.
We can make them, we just can't have them.
No. You can't grow them. You can't
I'm
grow
saying I can, be part of the process.
Yeah, but that's a real small part.
I mean,
we're talking about 9
I did
months.
it a couple times,
And, I don't care what you call yourself. I don't care what you do to yourself. You are not having a baby.
What are they doing these implants now too, where
baby.
men can breastfeed?
Huh?
Yeah, they got this new thing where they can implant something in a man's chest so you can actually be able to breastfeed a baby.
What kind of website you going on, bro?
It's just I check all this shit out. You know what? Because I want to be in the know.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I want to be in the know because there's some sick, twisted sons
You
of
see
bitches.
that?
So I'm assuming that it's
not the iTid, is it?
I don't know.
I sent you guys the iTid.
Yeah, we saw that. So I'm
The
assuming
iBoob.
It takes the C battery unless you get D's. But anyway,
I'm assuming it's a sack that they fill up.
Yeah.
Even at that, you're playing woman. You're not a freaking woman.
You can put lipstick on a pig all day, but it's still a pig.
It's still a pig, dude.
I mean, come on, man.
It's I don't understand how they're not pissed off about it. And if they are, they ain't saying nothing.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
I am extremely pissed off about it. I'm about up to here with it. And I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a wife,
Yep.
and I've got a sister,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got female cousins, and I've got a mother
Check.
and aunts. I got them all.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. Every time this shit goes down, you disrespect the women of value in my life, and I'm not standing idle and putting up with it.
Yeah.
You're not going to hijack shit from my daughter. I can tell you right now. And if any of you guys listen to this podcast, you better step up, get up, and man up, because they're coming for our daughters. They're dream crushers, man. They're trying to steal and destroy, just like the enemy, from our daughters. We've been raising women to try to empower them and let them know how great and how beautiful and how valuable they are. And then we're going to pull this bullshit, letting some guy show up in college to steal all those years of dedication and commitment, to show up at the last minute and put lipstick on, and now he's the woman of the year. To sit on a TikTok or a video and put makeup on that women have been putting on since the beginning of time, and be one of the top grossers in the country as far as influencers go with that. No, that shit ain't right, and you shouldn't be cool with that. And you shouldn't be supporting that. It's a slap in the face of women. And you feminists out there that want to bitch and complain about everything and point fingers at men, where are you at? Who's fighting for my daughter if it's not me? I don't see you out there fighting for my daughter. You talk about for the rights of women and little girls. What about their dreams? What about their aspirations? Where you at? I'm so sick and tired of this political bullshit narrative in this country. It's all fake. It's a lie. And the men that are watching this, I want you to look very closely into my eyes. It's down to us. So you better be ready. Put on your big boy pants, because you are a boy. Grow out that beard and become a man, and quit acting like a little boy, and do what you've been called to do as a father and a husband, and that's fight for the people in the four walls of your house. Stand up to injustice. Don't sit quietly and idly back and just put up with this bullshit. Be a man about it. Stand up, get up, man up. And when you do that, my friends, well, hell, that's where the rubber meets the road.